What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. We need to talk about free speech. I know it's weird, right? In Canada these days, free speech being a problem. An alarming story was sent to me over the weekend, and one that I wanted to wait until after the weekend to talk about. I know others have talked about it already, but the reason I wanted to wait was people are typically busy on the weekend, and I wanted to make sure this video was out for as many people as possible to see, as a BC nurse has been fined nearly $100,000 for merely stating her beliefs or her opinions. It's funny how much control, let's try and get that a little bit better on the screen for you guys. It's funny how much control the government seems to think that they have over your opinions. Not only do they tell you what to put in your body, where you can go, where you can't go, they freeze your bank accounts. They talk about censoring what you can see online. Now they're telling you, well, you're going to pay out the nose if you don't play along with our belief system. Article reads here from the National Post, BC nurse suspended and fined $94,000 for comments about trans people. The College of Nurses and Midwives' decision has stayed until the appeal at the BC Supreme Court has been resolved. So it goes on to say that a British Columbia nurse has been suspended and fined nearly $94,000 for what a disciplinary panel said were discriminatory and derogatory statements about transgender people. The BC College of Nurses and Midwives says a disciplinary panel has issued a decision against Amy Ham, suspending her for 1 month, while also ordering her to pay the college costs and disbursements within 2 years. The panel says in its verdict in March that Ham committed professional misconduct for making statements across the, quote, various online platforms between July of 2018 and March 2021 that were partly designed, quote, to elicit fear, contempt, and outrage against members of the alphabet community. So I'm sure it gets into it later in the article. Again, I always try to read these articles first time with you guys so that we're kind of hearing all of this together for the first time. But of course, what it says here is it's from various online platforms. So I'm assuming her Facebook, Twitter, or X, or things like that. And that's part of the problem I have, is that employers should not have access, in my personal opinion, to your social media. I don't believe that hiring you or keeping you employed should have anything to do with what you do online. Now, that's a very gray area for some people. Some people often say, well, it tells us a lot about those people in the background, or it tells us if those people are not good people. It also is a violation of people's rights to express themselves or have their own privacy outside of their workplace. So I understand the argument for people to say, well, it's good that we know who these people are, but in the same aspect, there has to be a degree of privacy. Before online social media existed, you had your beliefs, you had your group of friends or colleagues, you had your private life outside of work, and most people were free to express themselves how they wished when off the clock. But it goes on to say here, the college says that Ham has filed an appeal of the discipline order in BC Supreme Court, and the decision on penalty and costs is stayed until the appeal has been resolved. Thank God for that. The Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, or the JCCF, says in a release that Ham, who is also a columnist for the National Post, was penalized for her statements defending the right of women to access female-only spaces. So she just wants security for women. Nope, pay us $94,000 for opening your mouth. The release says that Ham had worked in healthcare for more than 13 years, and had been promoted to be a nurse educator. Lisa Bildy, Ham's lawyer, says in a statement that they believe the panel made legal and factual errors in reaching its decision, which penalizes the nurse for expressing mainstream views aligned with science and common sense. Ham says in the statement that her comments are not hateful. I'm appealing because biologically reality matters. And so does freedom of expression, she says. The college says in its notice for the penalty decision of the verdict is an important statement against discrimination. Nurses and midwives occupy a position of trust and influence in our society, the notice says. The college will continue to stand up against discrimination and believes it is a core aspect of our public protection mandate to ensure nurses uphold the important principle that the healthcare system is non-discriminatory. The announcement comes nearly a month after the JCCF announced it had filed 2 complaints with the British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal. This is insanity. So if the College of Nurses, this is the same kind of treatment Jordan Peterson got, by the way. Shout out to Dr. Jordan Peterson. I know he's having a medical battle right now as well. Dear friend of the channel. I wish him nothing but the best and wish for his immediate recovery. But what we're seeing here is the same kind of treatment that he got from the College of Psychologists. The College of Nurses in British Columbia saying, you can pay us $94,000 in disbursements for stating that women should be able to essentially be protected. That they should only have women facilities for women. I don't see the problem here. Where are you not allowed to have your personal opinion anymore? Why is it that woke British Columbia always feels that it has the right to give land transfers back to people, to virtue signal, to make substances that shouldn't be legal, legal? Now they're telling you you're not allowed to have your own point of view, your own opinion. When does your own personal private life stop being your private life in today's society? Why is it that your employer, who, by the way, it says here that she was just suspended from this position. So if the College of Nurses really had a problem with this, why wouldn't they just ask for her termination? Why are they asking for $94,000 in exchange rather than her termination? It's because they're corrupt. It's because we live in a corrupt system that wants to fart, huff, and virtue signal as much as possible and then rip away and destroy and dismantle any hope of freedom of expression. We're seeing the same thing happen in our government right now when it comes to the longest mischief trial of all time, pinning Chris Barber and Tamara Leach to go to jail. Keep in mind the government is going to repossess and dismantle Chris Barber's truck, Big Red, which he no longer owns, by the way. He sold it to his son, and the government is saying that they have the rights to repossess it still. So ownership is not allowed. Opinions are not allowed. It seems like if you dare question the government in any way, shape, or form, or don't play game to their ideologies and beliefs, you can have your accounts frozen, you can have your vehicles seized, you can have your property seized, you can be fined almost $100,000 for merely stating your opinion. Where is this fair in our society? Where is this fair that, look, I've told people a million times over, if you want to believe these things, do whatever floats your boat. I want you to be happy with your life, but I deserve to be happy in mine. How far am I expected to participate in your delusionary behavior? Now, that being said, I'm sure that I have now officially put myself off of a list of being hired at any job outside of YouTube. But that's the society we live in, folks. Let me know what you think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure, as you hit that button, leave a thumbs up and a comment down below. Share it out on social media. All of that helps push this past censorship. As soon as we start talking about trans or anything to do with the government, it gets pushed down in YouTube's algorithm. So leave a comment down below, even if it's just saying hello. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel. Join me live here each and every Wednesday and Friday night for Unhinged Fringe on Wednesdays, Friday Night Fringe on Fridays, where I'm joined by a plethora of co-hosts, as well as the beautiful Mrs. Fringe on Friday nights. And we talk about everything that's happening this week in politics, everything we know coming up in the week ahead, as well as Q&A within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I always look forward to chatting with you guys outside of making these videos. I most importantly look forward to chatting with you this week, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, every Wednesday and Friday here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.